Hello students of class 11. Welcome to the online tutorial classes for Vidya Bhavan High Secondary School. This video is for class 11 nutrition and the chapter that I am going to continue today is the water. So in this video, it is the sixth part of this chapter, the videos. In this video, we are going to discuss about the regulation of the water balance. So the previous video we learned about how the water balance can be maintained. Previously about the water intake and water output. Here we are going to discuss about the regulation of the water balance. That means how the water can be regulated. Okay. Water balance can be regulated. So water balance can be regulated by different procedures. So first, like that, there is a digestive process. Okay. The second is by the kidneys. And third is most importantly the hormonal control. Okay, these three procedures are there. By this the water can be regulated. So let's discuss about them first with the diagram and pictures. So now we are going to discuss about the regulation of the water balance. That means the input of water as well as its loss can be highly variable due to the individual habits and environmental factors like climates, like temperature, etc. In spite of this, the total body water need to be maintained at a constant level for the physiological functions like digestion, absorption, metabolism, everywhere. So there is several regulatory factors that I already told you that can be helped to maintain the water balance, and these factors are first digestive process. So what is the function of the digestive process? Like how this factor can help the water balance regulation? Like daily the volume of fluid that enter the and leaves the GI tract or gastrointestinal tract like bile, pancreatic and intestinal juices is actually very high. So the fluid exchange between the GI tract and blood circulation is variable from hour to hour according to the food, according to the nature of the food, etc. So the daily losses from the bowel are only around 100 to 200 ml. Okay. So almost all the fluid is absorbed in this gut. The second is about the kidneys. Like the kidneys are highly efficient regulators of the water balance. Although the kidneys can filter at least a 180 liter of the blood per day, the urinary input is only ranging between 1 to 2 liter in 24 hours. So just think the kidney can be filter 180 liter. How much pressure is on it? So if the water volume will increase, that I told you before, if the water volume will increase, then obviously the kidney can become dysfunctioned. So before the urine leaves the kidney, the variable amount of the water and the various solutes are reabsorbed by the renal tubules, and this ability plays a very major role in maintaining blood volume and blood water balance. Okay. So the next one is the hormonal control. And the water balance and the hormonal control means the hormones can also act as a very important factor to control the water, or control or digest the water, or regulate the water balance. So it is also very much important. In this picture that you can see that it is the thirst mechanism given, like thirst and satiety is also related to it. The hormonal control of the blood regulation, or this is water balance regulation, we will discuss it in the next video. Here we will discuss about the thirst mechanism. So the thirst and the satiety, that means this factor can influence the water intake apparently in response to the changes sensation by the mouth, thalamus and the nerves. So the mouth, thalamus and the nerves, when get sensitized, the water we have to consume, and the thirst mechanism initiates. So when there is a less water in the body, the blood became concentrated and the mouth dries up. The thirst center in the brain is stimulated and when a person drinks water. So moreover, when there is enough water in the body, the satiety center in brain is stimulated and intake of water is less. So here you can see that one schematical diagram is there. The left one is starting from the dehydration. So if the body get dehydrated, then the increased osmotic pressure, that means the sodium concentration in the plasma got increased. That can stimulate the hypothalamus, and then it can stimulate the ADH, and it can form the release of the ADH, and directly it goes for the increased absorption of the water from the distal tubules, distal convoluted tubules of kidneys, and by this way the blood volume increased in our body, and that it decreased the ionic concentration in the plasma, and it obviously increased the osmotic pressure. Okay, so the osmotic pressure finally decreased by this procedure, and it started from the dehydration and completing with it, and within this one thirst mechanism is present. Like when the hypothalamus got stimulated, that the plasma concentration became high, we feel thirst. Okay, because it can directly sensitize the thirst mechanism, and by this thirst mechanism as well we are consuming the water, so it can increase the osmotic pressure, it can decrease the osmotic pressure, and by this decreasing the osmotic pressure, it is simultaneously stimulates the hypothalamus. So it is a circular way that is happening one after another in this water balance regulation or in the thirst mechanism. So I am completing this video with it. In the next video we are going to discuss about the hormonal control of the blood, like water balance regulation in our body. Till then, thank you.